Sick left-wing campus culture on full display at Georgetown University. A liberal gun club put up a disturbing flyer around school that read, "Hey, fascists, catch," a reference to the message written on the shell casing used by the man accused of murdering Charlie Kirk. But there still is hope for the kids. Last night, huge crowds gathering for a Turning Point USA event at Virginia Tech. It is good, Dana, to see Charlie Kirk's mission continue this strongly.
Think about these crowds. And then what were you doing in college? Well, we know. But, you know, if you want to go, you could do anything you want to at college. You're free to do whatever you want. And they all want to come to this. And this is happening all across the country. And one after another, when you see them speak either online or everybody that's been interviewed in the last couple of weeks here, we had a young man on Newsroom today. They are calm, articulate, thoughtful, and really emulating what they saw in Charlie Kirk, and of course Erica Kirk's amazing example. And I think what Governor Youngkin said about the future of young conservatives was absolutely correct. Like the future is bright, and I think that this movement is really going to grow and probably have a big, lasting, and good impact.
Yeah, Kennedy, you see these numbers, these chapter requests pouring in, tens of thousands.
Yeah, it's up to 160,000 last I looked. And, you know, this is one of those events that not only do you remember where you were, but it's galvanizing. And there are so many people who have to exist in college as closet conservatives, because there are very few people who historically have been willing to come out and say that they are conservatives and, you know, have their voices be heard, because they will be shouted down. They will be called names. They will not be allowed to join other clubs. They will be socially ostracized. And this was something that galvanized young people in a way that will create a generation of conservatives who were so deeply affected by Charlie Kirk's assassination. I personally hope that many of them ultimately become libertarians and just fight for freedom in a broad and inclusive way. And I see that happening. And I think that this is ultimately a good and positive thing, because I've talked to so many people who have said, I never really watched Charlie Kirk's videos. And, you know, God rest his soul, but I'm so impressed by the way he was able to talk to people. So if you have people who are inspired to start Turning Point chapters and have conversations in this way, backing up their own facts with logic, I think the future is very bright for an entire generation and beyond.
Greg Gutfeld, you're pretty old.
Yes, that's true.
Have you ever seen the campus so electrified by conservatives?
I hate these kids because they're going to take my job. I prefer the stupid knuckle draggers. In college, we were watching Faces of Death.
Yeah.
We were like doing nothing. These kids they got it together too much. I don't like it. As for this liberal gun club thing, or whatever it was called, what was it called? The leftist gun, whatever. I'm going to keep hammering the fact on the benefits of being petty. If you just called Charlie a jerk, or an idiot, or a blowhard, he'd still be alive. That simple. If it wasn't for the terminology, if it wasn't so intense and demonizing, that at 31 he was murdered. And I think that if you want to talk about cause and effect, you have to remember that he was only 31. He was only on the public stage. Really, when you think about it, for 5 years, that means all the people that are demonizing probably didn't even know who the hell he was until he was dead. So what more evidence that you need that it was never about him at all? They just caught up to this and decided, I don't know enough about him, but I know that I hate him. So that there's your brainwash.
Jessica, how do you feel about Greg's new agenda going after people's looks?
It's not new,
it's
Jesse.
It's so innovative. Yeah, that has always been part of Greg's appeal.
Not just Greg, no, but I know Greg will never stop. But what if you guys embrace the pettiness?
Yes, be petty.
He's giving you permission to be petty.
Make fun of me.
It just doesn't hit that well.
But then, why is it easier to call people Hitler? Why is it easier to do that than to call me fat?
I've never called anyone Hitler. You're also not fat.
That's true. Thank you.
You gained a little weight since your peak Peloton phase.
See, that's how it should work.
That was during COVID. He did it all the time. I just don't believe there's a liberal gun club. That's
fake.
really it. It's like when you read these things, but
In Georgetown.
at Georgetown. Listen, I think obviously a lot of more heated things about this whole debate, but I hope that there are also liberal groups on campus that come and participate in these turning point events and make it like a really lively, helpful campus vibe where folks are exchanging ideas in a peaceful way and learning how to have good arguments with each other, and then like go to the dining hall or a kegger and hang out like you should be during college.
Are you in a liberal gun club, Jessica?
I was going to say something mean to you. 'Cause
Please
Greg
don't.
okay.
Please.
You know what really hurt the left? I realized this. It was the trans movement.
Yeah.
Come on.
They were the ones that really introduced the targeting language. Remember, they went after feminists who believed women were women. They went after J.K. Rowling. That's where the language really turned into something. And of course, we see, what caused the killer to go after Charlie. So it's not all leftists. I was trying to pay you a compliment.
Okay.
Just take
It
it,
wasn't
Jessica.
my
It's the
fault.
fake ladies, not
Compliment.
the real ladies.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.